In a dark, trashy alley, a man leans against a wall, seemingly minding his own business. The surrounding area appears empty until a bright white car suddenly pulls up beside him. The vehicle's arrival grabs the man's attention, but he chooses to remain on the sidewalk. Shortly after, the backseat window rolls down, revealing an unknown figure who greets the man with a simple, "Hello." The man, clearly irritated, abruptly snaps, "Get lost." He isn't in the mood to meddle in any situation. However, a hand emerges from the window, holding a kopech, pointing it directly at him. The unknown figure then says, "I confiscated this from a man in Egypt who tried to take someone away from me." The man's expression shifts slightly as if the words have struck a nerve. The figure continues, his voice steady. "I'm told he still passes shards of his own ribcage when he goes to the bathroom." This comment strikes fear into the man on the sidewalk, who now finds himself pinned by the sharp edge of the kopech. It is then that the true identity of the figure becomes clear. None other than Mr. Knight, a certified terror whose reputation speaks for itself. Mr. Knight says, "Now then, you have taken someone away from their home. I'm not interested in the politics of crime families, so don't even try to justify it." With a measured tone, he elaborates. "You took someone who was traveling at night on their way home from a school event. You don't do that in New York City." Without wasting any more time, he cuts straight to the chase, his voice low but firm. "How many people are holding that person in there? Where's your abductee?" Realizing that a wrong answer could seal his fate, the man, in a panic, reveals, "A dozen, maybe more. 5th floor." Mr. Knight presses the kopech slightly deeper into the man's skin. "I presume your friends are pretty much spread out?" he questions, knowing the building has 6 floors. The man, trembling, nods and says, I guess." Without another word, Mr. Knight makes his decision, thinking, "Might as well go through the front door." Once inside the building, the decay of the place is obvious. Scraped off walls, broken railings, rotting doors. But the abductors patrol every floor. They are visibly taken aback when they see a man in a bright white suit walk in, as if he owns the place. One of the men, clearly trying to be intimidating, approaches and says, "Hey, were the boards over the door not a clue that we're closed?" Mr. Knight doesn't respond with words. Instead, he advances, pulling out his baton and striking the man's face brutally, sending blood splattering. He follows up with a knee to the abdomen and another vicious blow with the baton. Another man rushes down the stairs demanding, "What are you supposed to be?" as he pulls out a gun. But Mr. Knight, with reflexes like lightning, throws a blade that slices the man's hand, forcing him to drop the weapon. The second attacker meets the same brutal fate, swiftly beaten into unconsciousness as Mr. Knight proceeds to answer his question from earlier, the one you see coming. As another man charges in, thinking he can overpower Mr. Knight, his attempt is short-lived. Mr. Knight knocks him out cold and throws him down the stairs. His fall is fatal, as he lands back first on the railing. Descending to the 1st floor, a shot rings out. A man fires at Mr. Knight from across the room. Unfazed, Mr. Knight blocks the bullet with his stick, though the impact nearly shatters it. Crap. The man expresses his reaction after realizing that he is now done for. Annoyed, Mr. Knight hurls the solid part of the stick at the shooter, knocking him out. Grumbling under his breath, Mr. Knight mutters, "Damn it, those things cost real money, and it's not like I have a job." On the 2nd floor, another man appears at the top of the stairs. With precise aim, Mr. Knight throws a blade, severely wounding him, and then kicks him down the flight of stairs. Reaching the 3rd floor, Mr. Knight encounters a giant of a man who comes out of his room nagging, "I was trying to take a nap." A punch to the giant's shoulder does little, and the giant retaliates by grabbing Mr. Knight by the face and lifting him, warning, "That's not helping." But before the giant can do more, Mr. Knight slashes 2 blades across his skin, leaving him brutally injured. With his pristine white jacket, Mr. Knight blinds the giant and throws him down the stairs. Mr. Knight, Sleeves now rolled up, heads to the 4th floor, prepared for more. 3 men approach, but they don't get the chance to act. Mr. Knight kicks the first guy in the abdomen, causing him to vomit, twists the second's arm until it snaps, and finishes off the third with a brutal kick to the ribs. Just then, another man rushes down from the 5th floor, but Mr. Knight throws a blade into his foot, causing him to trip and land face first, fatally. On the 5th floor, Mr. Knight encounters a man dressed as sharply as himself, wielding 2 knives. The man impressively blocks Mr. Knight's thrown blades, momentarily earning his respect, but Mr. Knight quickly gains the upper hand in their exchange, forcing the man to stab his own leg before throwing him down the stairs. After knocking out another man enjoying his beer, Mr. Knight encounters a baseball bat wielder, precisely the weapon he is looking for. As the man charges toward Mr. Knight, he mutters, "Good, I need one of those." Snatching the bat, he throws that man down the stairs as well. Calling out to the floor, Mr. Knight warns, come out, wherever you are, and don't go downstairs. It's not safe." His words bait another man into stepping out of a room, only to be struck by the bat. Meanwhile, another man attempts to flee from the 6th floor, but Mr. Knight prioritizes rescuing the abductee. Inside a room, a man holds Scarlet hostage, pressing a gun to her head. "Pretty sure my gun has a better reach than your bat," the man warns. Mr. Knight, not missing a beat, says, "But I love this bat, and you me a truncheon, and you can't kill me." He explains that killing Scarlet won't save him, continuing, "You could kill her, it's true, but what saves your life after she's dead? Everyone already thinks the kid's dead. That loss is accepted. Have you accepted yours? Are you ready to die today?" This causes the man to become skeptical about his next move. Mr. Knight continues, "You could use that gun on her now, but she's the only one keeping you alive. Make your call." Left with no good options, the captor hands over the gun, only for Mr. Knight to knock him out cold with the bat. Mr. Knight removes the tape from Scarlet's mouth, leaning in slightly as he speaks. "Hello, Scarlet," he says with a calm tone. "I guess I must look pretty weird. My name is Mr. Knight. The police will be here to pick you up in a little bit. You can tell them you met me." However, Scarlet is distracted. Her eyes are fixated on Mr. Knight's mask, barely listening to his words. She finally speaks. "Your face." Concerned, Mr. Knight pays no attention to Scarlet's fixation on his face, saying, "It's a mask." He questions Scarlet. "Did they hurt you at all?" She replies, "No, they just carried me places." Still fixated on Mr. Knight's face, Scarlet comments, "It's not a mask, it's your face." Amused, Mr. Knight chuckles. Smart kid. Meanwhile, the man who had fled earlier is on the rooftop, frantically trying to escape. His attempt lasts mere moments before Mr. Knight takes him down with a thrown blade. Now covered in blood, the man watches in terror as Mr. Knight approaches. With a menacing tone, Mr. Knight orders, "Listen, where are you going? Tell your friends. Tell everyone you meet. You tell them all. When you see me coming, run." Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel.